Blessed to be a part of your day. Kevin Miller in the morning, KIDO Talk Radio, broadcasting from the Walmart parking lot here in beautiful Nampa, Idaho. It's a little cold, it's a little wet, but we sure appreciate everybody joining us. By the way, the Kevin Miller cash code word of the day is beach. Beach. Remember, listen at 6 a.m. and 8 a.m. during the Kevin Miller Show on KIDO Talk Radio. That's 107.5 FM, 580 a.m. For your chance to win up to $5,000. And 3 p.m. during the Sean Hannity Show. The more words you get, the more opportunities that you have to win $5,000. And when we talk about winning money and giving, that's why we're here. Day 4 of Miller's Mission, supporting the Boise Rescue Mission and all the wonderful works that go on. I want to thank so many people that have kept the mission, kept what we're doing in their prayers. You know, people say their thoughts and prayers. Well, in this program, we will just say prayers. And, you know, we've been doing this almost 10 years, really. It's been amazing. My arms are tired. There was a young man by the name of Baylor. His mommy, Naomi, came by. If you go to our Facebook page, our Instagram page, Kevin Miller Show, Kevin Miller, KIDO Talk Radio, you'll see this huge bottle of pennies. And she kept the bottle, but we poured them out. And really, it's symbolic. By the way, it is National Penny Day. That's right. It's National Penny Day. And we're here tonight till 7 from Naomi and Baylor. You might know Naomi from the Shots in the Dark coffee shop, from God and Country. You might know Baylor for picking up the pennies, from their gift to a young man who came back last night about 6:55 and was so moved by the stories, and they're not stories, the real-life actualities of our friend Tabitha, that they donated. And then you've got another lady said, hey, I'm going to come back the next day to Mike outside, and gave a generous donation. Bonnie, who wants to volunteer. In the world today, it can be a lonely, desolate place. Thank God that we have the Boise Rescue Mission. You're going to hear a lot of folks today share their experiences. And it's not an easy thing to do, and really it's been an evolution for me, where you put somebody on and go, talk. Well, it's hard. You know, we take that for granted, just like we take for granted that we're going to have sunscreen, that we're going to have heat, that we're going to have a place to stay, people to love us. And that's really what this spring edition and the fall edition of Miller's Mission is about, to remind us that we should be grateful for what we have and to help those that really need an example of God's unconditional love. So phone lines are open, 580-5436, 580-KIDO. Coming up, we are going to sound off on the governor. I'm going to tell the governor who he should be calling, and it's not Garth Brooks. Joining us now, Brianna from the Boise Rescue Mission. Good morning.
Good morning, Kevin.
Good to have you with us here on KIDO Talk Radio, 107.5 FM, 580 AM. Now, for people that are not familiar with the Boise Rescue Mission and what you all do, could you share with us what you do and why you do it?
The Boise Rescue Mission has been in the Treasure Valley for 60 years. This is our 60th year of restoring faith, hope, and family. And it's an amazing ministry. We serve 1,000 meals a day. We shelter about 500 people every night in our 4 shelters, our 2 for men and then our 2 for women and children. Something that a lot of people may not realize is that even though we're called the Boise Rescue Mission, it's really more like the Treasure Valley Rescue Mission, right? Because we have River of Life and City Light in Boise, and that's the men's and women's shelters. And then we have Lighthouse and Valley in Nampa. So you Canyon County folks, we're helping out in Canyon County as well.
Why do you do it?
I do it because I am a Boisean first and foremost, and a Christian, and this is.
I noticed you said Boisean before Christian. Just kidding.
Right, it's early, Kevin.
Yes, ma'am.
The thoughts, they come out of my brain pan and onto my mouth. It's the two go hand in hand. This is my town, and these are my people, and I'm honored and blessed to get to work here.
What has been the most rewarding part of your job?
The most rewarding part of my job has been getting to hang out with the kids. The children who come to the mission have been through a lot, and my kids are I have one adult and two teenagers, and so they're mostly on their way. But we get some little guys, and it's hard. That's the hardest and the most rewarding part of the job.
When we take a look at City Light or the Valley Home for Women and Children, obviously it's not a big mansion.
No,
you
it's
have
not.
to do really more with less.
Right.
Could you, Brianna, share with us here on KIDO Talk Radio how you make the most of what you have and doubling up and tripling up and that sort of thing?
We're just extremely efficient. City Light is a repurposed church. It was a Lutheran church there. It's at the corner of 14th and Jefferson. On the outside, it still looks like a church, and we do a lot with what we have. It's not fancy, and I think the word repurposed does it justice, because we take I don't know, if you were to go downstairs, if you were a member of that church 20 years ago and you walked in and you saw the downstairs, the autocafetorium where we do, all the food and chapel and our program meetings, and some people even sleep downstairs. I mean, that's one room, and we get a lot of use out of that's just one room out of many.
Well, and again, that's where your donations come in. And if you could share with us, Brianna, the little guys, and the story of transformation.
Right.
You look and your heart goes out and you're going, oh my goodness gracious, what's going to happen? And then they're just new people.
It's we're supporting Mom and putting her in the position where she can support her children. And you guys had a long talk yesterday with Tabitha, and that's a perfect example. I mean, Tabitha's probably somewhere here behind me. I hope she doesn't take too much offense to this, but when Tabitha and her daughter arrived at the mission, I think feral is probably a pretty good word to describe. They were in survival mode. They were. I'll never forget when she said, "It's my daughter and me against the world," and I thought, "Wow, that's not true,"
At 30 years old.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. And I knew that wasn't true because here I am in this fabulous community, and I wanted her to see that too, and I think she did, and the only reason she did is because the community came together and supported us.
Brianna, anything else you'd like to share?
We need your donations for the summer. Sunscreen and water isn't cheap, and these little guys need your help.
So stop by either this week or anytime. Volunteers?
Yes, absolutely volunteers. We have 9,000 volunteers who helped us in 2018. That's, not 9,000 times that someone came to volunteer. That's 9,000 different volunteers. We wouldn't be able to be open one day if it weren't for volunteers. So, yes, please come volunteer.
Come make a difference. Brianna, thank you.
Thank you.
580-5436, 580-KIDO. Kevin Miller in the morning. So here we are at the Boise Rescue Mission's, I guess you call one of our campuses. It seems that way. We're here tonight till 7 o'clock, making a difference in the world we live in today, and we certainly would love you to join us. There's a story that's not getting a lot of attention. And many years ago, you might remember this individual. His name was Johnny Michael Spann. He was the first American killed in Afghanistan. He was from Alabama. He so valiantly fought in the war on terrorism before we could even define it. The reason why it's important when we're talking about our heroes is John Walker Lind, the man known as the American Taliban, convicted of helping Al-Qaeda, of helping these folks, is set to be released from prison today. Now, many years ago, and I guess that's the blessing of having done this for almost 25 years, I worked in another state, the hometown of Johnny Michael Spann. And I got to know his wife, Shannon Spann. Now, Shannon also was a CIA officer. Shannon also was someone who loved her country, loved her husband, and lost her husband. Right? Lost her husband because of John Walker Lind. This person should have gotten a life sentence because there's a star at the CIA headquarters for those killed in action. They don't get a nameplate. They get a star. And again, Johnny Michael Spann was a hero. And maybe you'll hear about this today, maybe you won't. But let's take a listen to some of the reaction. His daughter, by the way, his daughter's got to be, what, he left behind a wife and a daughter, at least, in her mid-20s, since September 11th. So here you have the American Taliban going free, proving once again that our fight is not over.
The conditions around John Walker Lynn's release indicate authorities are still concerned about the threat he could pose. So he joined the Taliban sometime before 9/11, and he was with them when al-Qaeda terrorists attacked the World Trade Center and the Pentagon. He was captured in late 2001 and was present when a group of Taliban prisoners launched an attack that killed Johnny Michael Spann, a CIA officer who had been interrogating Lynn and other Taliban prisoners. Now, Lynn got a 20-year prison sentence. He's only served about 17 years of that. Starting today, he'll be on supervised release for the next 3 years with some pretty strict restrictions. They include monitoring software on his internet devices, online communication that must be conducted in English, and he'll have to also go through some mental health counseling.
There we have it. So at 580-5436, 580-KIDO, he gets 20 years, serves 17, and they're going to monitor his internet. Is that really sending the right message? We'd love to get your thoughts on that. Plus, we'll just call for it openly. Governor Little did the thing that the governor of Minnesota did, which is call Garth Brooks. Personally, I think that they should be calling Donald Trump to come to Idaho, but that's my own opinion. We'll get to that in a minute. First, Jim in Middleton joins us on KIDO Talk Radio. Jim, good morning.
How are you?
I'm living the dream, and you?
Just right. The gal that was on there previously mentioned about volunteers doing things and so forth. And I want to know what kind of various work do the volunteers do? I don't know if she's there to answer that.
Well, Jim, we'll if you listen longer, we'll be able to do that. Or Tabitha, can you answer that real quickly?
Okay. Great. And then
what does volunteers do?
Talked about the other day, Kevin, can that go?
Yeah. You want to just stop by Friday?
Will that work Friday?
You want to do it? Sure. You want to do it during the morning show?
No, Kevin. Tomorrow is the last day of school, and I'll be tied up until 3 or 4 o'clock. But after that, like supper time, would that work?
I'd be honored.
Okay, great. All right, Kevin. I'll talk with you later. Have a great day.
Thank you, Jim. Jim's going to be cooking down here. All right, Tabitha, for volunteers, what can they do? What are you looking for?
So we have our volunteers do everything from help us set up at events to sort clothing at our warehouse. They can serve food in the kitchen so they can actually interact with our guests and see what it's like. Volunteers are able to help with everything that the mission does. We will put you on the reception desk at any of our missions. We just want you there to help. You can come pray with people. You can do chapel. If there's something that you can do at your home, you can do it as a volunteer with us.
All right, Max in Garden City. Good morning. You're on KIDO Talk Radio.
Hey, good morning, my rescue mission friend.
Hello, Max.
I guess it's a dual topic, but I'll be brief on the first one. This American Taliban punk should not have his citizenship, should not have his right to live in this country. This guy declared war on our people, killed our people, and what for? For his belief. Good. He's free to have his belief in a 6x6 cell somewhere in the deepest basement in Guantanamo. Okay, there. I feel better. Now, I just wanted to bring up a disturbing incident that happened yesterday, but you're seeing more and more of it. This woman was just casually chatting with a man in the line at the supermarket, and this guy was obviously a raging snowflake, and he began to go off on her. He was just verbally, he wouldn't give her a chance to talk. He was getting in there, and she was doing the worst possible thing. She was starting to agree with him, to appease him. Folks, George Orwell said that if liberty means anything at all, it means the right to tell people what they do not want to hear. If you want to keep that right, if you want to keep any semblance of freedom, When somebody says something you don't agree with, speak up. Don't walk away. Don't shake your head. Don't crawl in some cowardly corner. Because if you don't speak up, I speak up for myself. I speak up for many of you. But there are many others of you whom I cannot speak up for, so you've got to open your own damn mouths. Don't be a coward. They're thin-skinned, they're brazen, but they will back down if you stand up to them. It doesn't have to come to blows, but if it does, I'm ready. Kevin?
All right, Max, thank you for the call. Kevin Miller, KIDO Talk Radio. Do want to thank our friend Logo Joe for coming in. Logo Joe, known throughout the Northwest for his promotional skills and acumen. He was so concerned about Miller's mission that he decided to come in, help his young protege, Logan, who's doing a great job under, challenging conditions. We take for granted the ability to go out and do these things. And as I've said, it's great to have him driving 9 hours, getting 2 hours sleep to be here with us to help. They're kind of like Batman and Robin this morning. But I do want to acknowledge the great work also our friend Ray Amaya back at the broadcast center. You're looking at, the other day, the Nampa Walmart lost power. And the theme of this program today is, things we take for granted. So I want to thank Logo Joe and Logan and Ray Amaya for the great job. Traffic and weather together. KIDO Talk Radio time is 6:25. Good morning, Robin. And we're joined by Marty Cullen. He's a nice young man. He's here to, I don't know why he's here, but he looks like a good gentleman. He's owner and president of Perfect Plumbing and Air. Good morning, sir.
Yeah. Morning. How you doing?
Not bad. Sun's coming up. Another great day in America. Great day here in Nampa.
Beautiful day. Beautiful day to be out here and help with the rescue mission a little bit.
Now, you're familiar with the rescue mission. You are a contributor, a supporter. You love the rescue mission. Can you tell us why?
Yeah. Nobody gets to where they're at in life if they're successful, and we've been blessed to be pretty successful without some help. And I think everybody deserves a little bit of help, and there's some folks over there that need some help once in a while, and we're able to give back. I sure haven't made it to where I'm at without help, and now I can afford to help out.
Well, wait a minute. You're running I'm sure your company's fairly busy now. There's a thing called a housing boom, and then you got the issues that come up. Like, taking time out of your day to do this, is that a core principle for you?
It does. One of our missions in life is to raise the bar in the service trades. And raising the bar doesn't mean just about us. It means about the community and the place that we live and all the great things we do. And so when you believe that, you got to do some other things besides take care of yourself.
Sure.
And we love the rescue mission. We actually had a team down there serving. Someone was asking about volunteering. We sent a team of people down there the other day. They're awesome. They do more than just feed someone. They actually help the whole person. And we believe that's pretty important to help make the community better.
Is there a takeaway from maybe a member of your team seeing somebody, or perhaps, Marty, what you've impacted you personally?
For me, the big thing has been, I'm a guy, I've got 3 daughters, and they've all been blessed, and I've been able to work down, do some work donating at the City Light, and seeing the difference between what my girls have had to have and what some of those people have had to deal with over life is, you just got to give back and help a little. And going down and doing it in person, got to tell you, Kevin, it's a little, there's a little selfishness in that because I get to feel pretty good when I do that too. But when I see what goes on and hear a few things, that's just not in my day-to-day world all the time. It opens my eyes up to helping some other folks and really thinking we can make this community a better place.
So is there anything that, Marty, you want to say to people to encourage them to volunteer, to donate?
I think that, I just think it's much easier with people that are successful. Let's do some donating. Let's help the folks out that are out there that have hit a hard time. And, a few dollars here and a few dollars there probably doesn't hurt as bad as we think about it. Just, hey, don't stop for coffee today. I know my friends that sell coffee aren't going to like that so much, but we could really help a lot of people. And let's get out there and make this community an awesome place. We can do this without killing ourselves.
And making the world a better place.
Making the world a better place.
All right. You're talking about the trades, Marty. Perfect Plumbing and Air. Would you like to challenge folks?
I would love to see everybody that I compete with in this community to give a donation today. we're blessed. Great competitors, great people out there. They think a lot about the community. Let's get all of them in here, making a little donation, and the trades who are successful because of all the people in this community supporting us. Let's support the community back.
And really, not a big deal to volunteer. You just call and they hook you up, right?
You know what? It's a great experience. You want to do a team building experience with work or some other people? Yeah, give a call over there. Get on the list and go down and volunteer. Just even volunteering for serving dinner, an hour out of your life, helps some other folks. It's a good thing. Everybody should try it.
Marty Cullen, Perfect Plumbing and Air. We appreciate you. We appreciate your donation, and thank you for your passion.
Hey, and we appreciate what you're doing to help the rescue mission this week.
Now, I know you don't want to do this, but people want to get a hold of you. Least we can do. Your phone number?
Our phone number is 208-376-7473.
One more time, please.
208-376-7473.
Perfect Plumbing and Air. Thank you, Marty.
Hey, thank you, sir.
You know, in November, we're here. It's a little colder. You're more than welcome to come by.
We'll probably be by. I'm kind of friends with Jason. Jason's
does a great job.
And so, yeah, you can count on that.
All right. Thank you, Marty. Take care.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too. You're listening to Kevin Miller, KIDO Talk Radio, 107.5 FM, 580 AM. Good morning, Maggie. And Kevin Miller in the morning here. Beautiful day in the Treasure Valley, getting ready for Memorial Day weekend. But as we remember the fallen, as we remember so many people who've paid the ultimate sacrifice and their families who miss them, we ask you kindly to stop by the Walmart here in Nampa, Walmart, Garrity and Franklin, and make a difference, where we ask you to give your pennies, your thoughts, your prayers, as we continue on with Miller's Mission, helping the Boise Rescue Mission. Now, we have a gentleman here. He looks familiar. Your name, sir?
Lyle.
Lyle, good to have you. How's the tree service going? How's the bending of you do the metal work, correct?
Yes.
Every Miller's Mission, it seems, you come by and you see me and you donate and you make a difference, and you're here again.
Yeah, I've never come in the spring before, but when it's tough out there, it's tough. But whatever it may be, they said in church last Sunday that we're all beggars, and we really are, because we're only a few checks away from being in the same place other people are. So anyway, I brought my pennies, and everything I got today is yours.
All right, well, we're going to move the microphone over. Hold on here, and we're going to pour the pennies in. Lyle, thank you very much, brother. We appreciate that. You got a little bit more. Jeff Manasso in a minute. But first, Lyle's going through his pants. Like I said, it's you only hear this on the radio in the Treasure Valley, emptying out his change. Pennies from heaven. Lyle, thank you very much. We're going to have you stand by, Lyle, over there. Cut his mic, please. Thank you, guys. Lyle, stand by. We're going to get to Audrey in a minute. First, KIDO Talk Radio, 107.5 FM, 580 AM. Your home for Fox News on the radio. Jeff Manasso joining us. Mr. Manasso, good morning.
Hey, my friend. How are you?
We are a little dry. It's been raining here in the Treasure Valley. We're at the Walmart collecting pennies from heaven. And speaking of the sky and heaven, what's the latest with the Boeing 737 MAX?
Yeah, well, Federal Aviation Administration officials are meeting with global aviation agencies today to talk about the Boeing 737 MAX. So the FAA is inviting the directors general of civil aviation authorities from around the world to discuss what's been done to ensure the safe return of that fleet, Boeing's best-selling airplane, the 737 MAX fleet, to service. And specifically, they'll be talking about a software fix for a flight control system that is suspected of, to be behind two deadly crashes, one in Ethiopia in March and one in Indonesia last fall. All on board were killed on those planes, which led to a worldwide grounding of 737 MAX airplanes.
And, of course, this has been a big impact on Southwest Airlines, primarily Southwest, because I think they bought the most of them.
Well, Southwest domestically, but you're talking about airlines, many in Asia and other places where their entire airline is basically, or at least 90% or maybe even more, are made up of 737 MAX airplanes. So not just domestic carriers, but worldwide, many airlines are asking Boeing for compensation for losses as a result of the grounding. Boeing told pilots after its first fatal crash that it had sold a safety feature as an optional extra, kind of like floor mats when you buy a car, an optional extra in planes because many airlines felt it would confuse pilots. You're talking about this angle of attack indicator on which pilots had to be trained, in which other pilots have admitted, look, we had no idea this thing existed. We certainly had no idea how to use it because we were not trained. And it's the contention of some union members that have these pilots on these two plane crashes, planes that went down. Had they known how to use that equipment, then we might not have seen crashes. So these things are grounded indefinitely until a decision can be made, and certainly after a fix can be made. We've heard from Pilots Association and other officials that say it's a pretty easy fix. Others aren't so sure, but meantime, as a consumer, most people, you're looking at your plane ticket. Even when these things get back up in the sky, you're going to look at your plane ticket. You're going to say, I'm on a 737 MAX, maybe I'm going to switch off and go to the old school style airplanes because there's a fear out there.
There is a fear, and Boeing will have to work on that. Jeff Manasso, thank you.
You bet.
Welcome once again, Miller's Mission. Kevin Miller in the morning, 107.5 FM, 580 AM, KIDO Talk Radio. So, Lyle, we didn't want to cut you off there. Very emotional. What else would you like to say to encourage people to come by and give?
Well, we're all beggars. We all get something from somebody or do something to get it, but we never know when the last one's going to happen. I mean, you could go to the hospital tomorrow and they could take your house away. I mean, it's that easy. And really, we're just really a couple paychecks away from being right where they're at. So, I mean, if we can't give something, then really, what good are we? So that's my theory is, if you have it, give it, and it'll come back. But if you don't give it, it can never come back.
Anything else you'd like to share with us, brother?
Just God's out there and he's listening and he's watching and he helps us. All we have to do is just really do our part. If we do our part, he's going to do his part.
Right.
So, thanks for doing all you do.
Thank you. How's the tree service going?
Slow, but it's okay.
Well, let's get your number out a couple times.
208-965-5155.
Now, do you do a good job?
I've been doing it for about 7 years. I've only broke 3 pieces of vinyl and 2 windows. And I don't know how. Well, I know how. With God, things don't happen wrong. It's kind of cool.
All right, one more time. Lyle's Tree Service.
208-965-5155.
Hold on, you got to speak slowly because people are just waking up.
208-965-5155.
All right. Thank you, Lyle. God bless you, brother.
Take care.
Love you got a card. You give me one every year.
I do.
All right, give me a card here. Thank you very much. Thank you, Lyle. Appreciate you and your generous donations as always.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Audrey joins us now. Audrey, good morning.
Good morning, Kevin.
What brings you here?
I'm in the New Life program, and I just wanted to talk about my experience and how the New Life program has helped me and my son.
All right. Well, I'm thankful that you didn't say the van brought me here. Because sometimes when I ask the questions, you never know what you're going to get. And Audrey, it's not an easy thing to talk about on the radio or to expose yourself. So we really appreciate your courage. So you've got a little boy?
Yeah, I have a 2-year-old son named Liam.
And you and Liam are in the program. What led you to the program?
I was just broken and in a cycle of addiction that started with my parents. Both my parents are recovering addicts, and I just followed the same path they did. And one day I woke up and realized that I don't want my son to follow the same path I was in. And my grandmother knew about the program and told me to apply, and now I'm here and I'm on path 4 and almost ready to graduate and give my son a new life.
What was that moment like when you're looking at the greatest gift that God gives us as children and saying, I don't want that life for my son. I'm willing to courageously go through the pain and the suffering to change my life for his betterment?
It was tough and hard, but I knew that it would be the best for me and my son, and that God would give me a wonderful life and help me through everything as long as I trusted in him.
Was that tough?
Yeah, it was extremely hard, especially growing up knowing nothing but addiction. So, I mean, it was a big change, but I'm grateful to God that he helped me through it.
Well, going from addiction to God, it's quite a journey.
Yes, it is.
Any advice that you'd give us folks listening right now?
Just to take that step in faith. You know, the Bible says walk in faith, not in sight. And I definitely have learned my lesson with that. Anytime I try to lead my life, I just go back into that hole of addiction, and it's hard to get out of, and nothing can fully take you out of it but God.
Anything else you'd like to share with us?
That if you really want help and you really want to change your life, the mission will help you in any way possible, and I'm just so gratefully thankful for them.
Well, God bless you and Liam. Take care.
Thank you so much.
Kevin Miller in the morning here, KIDO Talk Radio. If you would like to help Audrey, if you would like to help the folks that you've heard from and will continue to hear from, make a donation today, boiserm.org, or better yet, come by during the morning show. We've got a lot of people here that would love to meet you, talk about volunteer opportunities, or we're here tonight till 7. We're in Nampa. If you're new to the area, just get on the freeway, or as they say, east of the Great River, the highway, and get off at the Garrity exit one way or the other. Not a lot of choices, but Garrity exit coming from Canyon County, going to Boise, you're going to take a left, go under the bridge. If you're coming from Boise Mountain Home, take a right, and you'll see the big Walmart. By the way, thank you to Doug from Mountain Home, who stopped by yesterday. And you know Doug. Doug calls it like it is. Kevin Miller this. What's going on with that? Doug has a big heart. Doug has a great heart. And I will tell you this, thank you, Doug, for your generous donation. You've made a difference. And if you'd like to make a difference and come by and hang out and check out the Big Penny, and to bring your pennies like our friend Lyle did, and I've known Lyle for years, every Miller's Mission, and again, usually in the November one, he comes by and gives his donations. We'd love to hear your pennies on the radio, by the way. I want to thank again Naomi and Baylor from Shots in the Dark Coffee. You can check that out on our Facebook and Instagram. It's just so funny, this big bottle, and man, my arms are still hurting from it yesterday. We want to have sore backs and sore arms from hauling all these pennies. By the way, on Tuesday, our friends at CapEd Credit Union will have a final tally, so probably Wednesday or Thursday of next week we'll have a final tally. More coming up from the Nampa Walmart. Kevin Miller on your home for Hannity, KIDO Talk Radio. Blessed to be with you, Kevin Miller in the morning. We're joined by the early rising Reverend Bill Roscoe from the Boise Rescue Mission. Good morning, sir.
I'm up there with the chickens and the roosters, man. I'm ready to rock and roll.
You're ready to rock and roll.
I've been hearing pennies falling in the jar here on the radio. And it sounded like you were the AAA guy for a minute there. You know, get off the freeway, take it right, turn left.
Heavy and steady, yes.
You're all right. You're all right, Kevin. God bless you. Thanks for all your help, brother.
Well, and you know, Reverend Bill, obviously we want people before Memorial Day weekend to roll, but as someone who has served, combat veteran, let's take some time in a second to talk a little bit about Memorial Day, if that's all right with you.
Well, it's always all right with me to talk about the greatest nation in the world and the men and women who have made it that way and kept it that way. And that's who you're talking about, Kevin. People that I served with and you served with, by the way. Thank you for your service. It's hard to look back sometime and remember some of the things we did in war. At the same time, I think it's good to do that, from time to time, to remember the people that made the ultimate sacrifice, and the courage and the heroism and the commitment and the dedication and the love that we saw in our brothers and sisters in arms is something you never forget.
Now I'm going to make you laugh here. All right, you remember the Gulf War?
I do.
Okay. You remember they called in everybody. It was the total force, so reserves guard. You had to be a pretty pathetic unit not to get mobilized for the...
Yours wasn't?
That was my crew, man. We didn't even get mobilized to go to... And I remember I was dating this girl at the time, and I went to go see her dad, and I'm going, I'm not good at war. Take care of your daughter.
said your goodbyes.
Right. It was, it was a psychological operations unit, PSYOPs, right?
Oh.
And we were so bad. And so then we got a new company commander, new guy in charge, who was Special Forces. The first sergeant was Special Forces. So because we were so bad, we would go out every month. We would go out in the field and try and learn, and it just
didn't work.
No, it
sounds like Stripes. You and Bill Murray.
No, I would be John Candy. Remember? Yes.
Oh, that's right. You were John Candy.
Yes. Some people get to be Chuck Norris, and others get to be John Candy.
Yeah. I don't know who I was, but I'm just Billy Roscoe.
And more coming up. But first, traffic and weather together. KIDO Talk Radio. Let's get you to work safely and on time. Good morning, Robin. Thank you, Reverend Bill. Let's focus on the show here. KIDO Talk Radio. I know you're just such a social butterfly.
I can't help it.
We appreciate that.
I love people.
And they love you.
Oh, boy. And they love me.
Can I speak?
Please continue.
Thank you, sir. May I have another? So, Reverend Bill, here we are for people driving by. This is great that people are bringing in their pennies. We've got a whole RV full of them. We're going to have more. Pennies can make a big difference.
You know, Kevin, I always tell people when they talk to me about giving and how much they can give and wish they could give, every penny, literally every penny counts. And that's because every day God knows what we need, and every day God meets our needs. So when we see more people coming through the doors, we see more meals being served, we see more children for the summer program, we're confident God's going to meet those needs, and God's going to ensure that we have every penny we need to get all the work done and serve all those people.
All right, coming up, Reverend Bill and Tommy Ahlquist, Kevin Miller, KIDO Talk Radio.